Hi, my name is Rina and Happy New Year to everyone. So 2018 is officially over and we're beginning anew again. So I really don't believe in like new beginnings, like each new year is a new beginning, but I still take the advantage of beginning a new year as an opportunity to get better, I guess. So today I want to go through what my art resolutions for 2018 were and how I did. And then at the end of the video I will go through my new goals for this year. Let's just get into it. So this year, no, it's the last year, in 2018 I had 6 art New Year's resolutions, and those were fill 6 sketchbooks, finish 12 oil paintings, practice all mediums, stop limiting myself, optimize my studio, and draw better anatomy. And let's just say that my year didn't end up being so productive as I wanted it. So I've not reached all my goals. Did I think that I would reach them? Yeah, but that didn't happen, and it's also okay because I was reaching a little high in comparison to what I was able to do, and I've kind of learned now, and I'm also not like devastatedly upset about not reaching all my goals, because that's just life. You can't really know what's thrown at you. Let's just go through them one by one. I wanted to fill 6 sketchbooks, and this was kind of my biggest struggle and my biggest like what I was focusing most on at the end of the year now. In like, I think about a month, a little more than a month, I managed to fill up 3 already begun sketchbooks. I finished actually my 3rd one December 31st, so the last day of the year. I was like filling 4 pages a day for a week to just finish it because I wanted it so badly. I managed to just fill half of the amount of sketchbooks that I wanted. I know why I didn't, and that's just my own fault, and also because of some unforeseen events that happened, so that's just how it went. Would I had been able to finish 6 sketchbooks if things in life were perfect? I think so. If I filled 1 page a day maybe, and as I said in last year's video, fill 1 sketchbook every 2 months, I would have been able to do it, but that's just not how it worked. So I've been kind of open about this before, but I started out my year very, very optimistic about everything that I wanted to do, and I kept my focus on my goals until March. In March I ended up becoming depressed, and I stayed that way until the end of September. So what happened between those 6 months was that I didn't do almost any art. I made a few like finished pieces, but I didn't sketch at all. I really didn't do much. I think I maybe filled like 2 sketchbook pages in those months, so that wasn't very fortunate, but fortunately it's also over. So what's happening now is that after September I started Inktober, and I got into a daily habit of sketching, or even making finished pieces at that time. And I just kept it going, kept sketching regularly, not every day, because I don't have the energy for that every day, but mostly every day since Inktober I have sketched. So I had the 3 sketchbooks that I filled this year. I had already sketched some in when I started, but not a lot at all. So I had like a head start on all the sketchbooks, but I managed to fill them up, and I'm very happy with myself even though I didn't reach my goal of 6 sketchbooks. So the next goal was to finish 12 oil paintings, and that one I knew I wouldn't reach. I talked about this 2 months ago or something, 1 month ago? I don't remember. I was hoping that I could get in 7 finished pieces before New Year, but I ended up only being able to do 5. 3 of those are like, oh, I have forgotten what wet in wet with oils is called, but 3 of them are wet in wet done in one sitting. Like I followed some Bob Ross tutorials. That is not something that I've posted, but yeah. And also I did one study of some kiwi fruits, and also I did one painting a cartoony portrait of a girl, and I had 2 paintings that I was working on that I could have managed to finish if I used all my time doing art, but I ended up focusing more on filling my sketchbooks than doing oil paintings. So I have 2 paintings that are like on the way. One of them is nearly finished, and the other I have just made a background. But yeah, so yeah, 5 of 12 finished this year. The next goal was practice all mediums, and that one was a little bit more of a fail. I can't say that I did this goal, so far I've failed every one of my goals, but yeah. I wanted to pick up more my pastels, my soft pastels. I wanted to do more drawings with colored pencils, but I didn't end up doing any of those. I've used some colored pencils. I did one full piece in only colored pencils, and also I've used colored pencils in my watercolor paintings, but for the most part this year I've done watercolors, and I'm happy with that. I have gotten a lot of practice with watercolors, so I'm super happy that I've actually done that. But at the same time, this whole year I had a plan for like my soft pastel. I have one piece that I really want to make with that, but I ended up never doing it because I was focusing on other stuff. The next goal was to stop limiting myself, and that one I actually feel like I've accomplished. I'm very new in art. I have actively done art now, like actively for a year, but like semi-actively for 2 years. Before that I hadn't drawn since I was a child, basically. So this is kind of new territory for me. But when I went into art, I had this like set rules in my head, like, oh, I have to use only one medium when I do, for example, watercolors. I only have to use watercolors. I also had these rules about what I post has to be perfect, like what I post to social media. I set limitations for myself on what I could draw, because I was thinking, people may not want to see this. Maybe my husband don't like what I do and stuff like that. And with those limitations, I didn't really get far at all. So I ended up being more afraid of doing art than able to do art. And that's also one thing that I have to work a lot with, was not being afraid to start a new piece, not being afraid to sketch if I made a bad sketch, that was something wrong. So that is something that I have been actively working with this year, and it has really been a good curve upwards, trying to learn myself not to limit myself with all those stupid rules that doesn't even matter. So yeah, I would definitely say that I have stopped limiting myself. I still have some things that I need to work on. I'll maybe talk about that later, but in general, yeah, that's a goal that is successful. Another goal I had was to optimize my studio, and I would say that this goal has definitely been the one that I have been most successful with. I love that I have a dedicated space to do art in. I have my computer here so I can look up references, edit videos for YouTube, listen to music when I paint and draw, and I have everything I need in one room. There are no supplies that are not in this room, and that is so great, and everything has its space, and I know where those spaces are. Most my drawers are like labeled, so it's easy to find also. So yeah, I think my room is as optimized as it can be with the small space I have. And with small space, I don't really mean small space because I have actually a whole small bedroom. So in comparison to other people, I may have a big art space, you know, but for me, I'm starting to kind of outgrow this, and I really want a bigger room one day, and I'm not gonna stop before that happens. But yeah, my studio is so as well optimized as I can. I have bought almost all my furniture from IKEA, I think. Every furniture in this room except for one is IKEA, and of course except for my easel, that's not IKEA. But yeah, it's been a really, really good journey to make this room my dream room, and I'm looking forward to see what the future brings. And the last goal for this year was to draw better anatomy, and it's kind of hard to say like, oh, I know I draw better anatomy, because when I look at my gesture drawings from earlier this year, they are not like amazingly different to what I'm drawing now, but I can very clearly see myself that my proportions has become better, like where the head is compared to the rest of the body, or how long the legs are and stuff like that. I feel like that is something that I have improved a lot on, and I also have purposely practiced it. So I feel like I have reached that goal. Maybe not everyone will be agreeing to that, but as long as I feel like I have gotten better, that's what matters to me. I've also started to enjoy drawing anatomy more, getting all the details, even though I'm not very good at them. And just in general be better with proportions. That was one of the biggest things I wanted to do when drawing better anatomy. So all in all, I think that I'll keep working on it. I'll keep practicing that on a regular basis, but because it's not where I want it to be, but it has been an improvement. I betcha. So that was last year's goals. I would say like 50-50. I failed and succeeded at the same time. With my conditions this year, I would absolutely say that I have succeeded even though I've failed, because these last 3 months of the year has been very, very good art-wise. I have done so much more art, I've been so much more creative, and I've been working really hard to finish what I could. So I'm really happy with that, and I hope that 2019 will be better in that way. Let's talk about the goals for 2019, which are also 6 goals like last year. So my new goals are to finish 4 sketchbooks, because even though I said that I think I could finish 6 sketchbooks, I would really like to set myself a goal that I really, really believe that I could achieve, and not like set myself up for another failure. So I finished 3 this year. I know that I can finish 4 next year, this year. But yeah, so that's why I put up 4 sketchbooks, 1 more than this year. I will definitely be able to do that, especially with like my sketchbooks has different amounts of pages. Some have more, some has less. I think I'm gonna be able to do that. The next goal is another try at finishing 12 oil paintings, because I really believe that I can achieve this as long as I don't get depressed for 6 months. But yeah, so 12 oil paintings, 1 each month. If I'm struggling, I could just follow a Bob Ross tutorial and be happy with myself. At least I did something. That's the way I want to view it. So fill 12 canvases or panels or whatever with oil paint. That is my goal this year. Now over to the less measurable goals. I want to get better at drawing faces. Like, if you look at the reference and you want to get likeness from your reference to your drawing, I really want to be able to do that, because right now I feel like when I draw from reference, everything is just a little bit off. So I need to study more the anatomy of a face, and that is a goal this year. I really want to like be able to replicate a portrait accurately, if I'm saying that right. So yep, that's a goal. The next goal is that I want to draw more from reference, because I have learned that when you use a reference, everything turns out so much better. I was kind of like limiting, that was one thing that I was limiting myself on last year, was I feel like I'm cheating when I draw from reference, and I know that that isn't cheating. What's cheating is tracing, and that is not the same. So yeah, there's just one thing that I really have to research, and that is, where does the line go in what references you are allowed to use. Right now when I'm searching up references, for example human anatomy, I use the page Senchistock, because that's okay, because they say it's okay to use their references for finished pieces that I could potentially sell. But I'm like, I'm not really, I don't feel like there's a clear rule about what things you can use as reference, in what way you can use them for reference without it being like plagiarism or something that someone can sue you for. So that's definitely something that I'm gonna research more and find out how. I've always heard the expression steal like an artist, and I just really need to understand what that means. Then I have 2 more goals. One of them is to take myself up on what I failed this year. I want to give soft pastels a chance this year, and also I want to paint more with gouache. I have painted some with gouache this year in a sketchbook. My last sketchbook tour was filled with a lot of gouache and also the Magello Mission White paints, which are basically gouache. And but I would really like to incorporate it in, for example, my watercolor paintings, to like find out how I would like to use them, because I really like gouache, but I don't really know how to incorporate it into my paintings without it being only a gouache piece. So that's something I want to work on. And as I already said with the pastels, I need to get started on that piece that I wanted to do with them. And also I want to do more, like try landscape, portrait, animal portraits. Just try different things to see if I like them. Because they're always like intrigued me when I've seen people make things with pastels. It looks so amazingly gorgeous. So I really want to do that too. But yeah, and also lastly, I have one optional goal for this year. And the reason I'm saying optional is because I don't know where I am in life then. But I really want to do Inktober this year, because I really had a good experience with it in 2018. It was my first try on Inktober, and I really liked what it did for me. Also, I got to practice a lot online art, which is good. And if I do Inktober this year, I wanted to have kind of a theme. I don't know what yet. I don't know if I'll follow the official prompts or if I want to try something new. But in any case, that is something that I really want to do. But I just have to do it if I can. On another note, I have some personal goals, like start exercising regularly, lose weight, get better at keeping our home clean and pretty. And also plans for 2019. We have some big plans, me and my husband. We are buying a house in 2019. We don't know exactly when, but we are buying from someone we know, so we know we get our dream house basically. I don't know when that will happen. This is maybe the biggest reason that I'm saying that I want to keep Inktober optional. Very excited. I am so excited. I think 2019 is gonna be a really cool year. There's gonna be a lot of things that I've never even thought about having to do with a house. So it's gonna be very different. It's gonna be so exciting, and I'm looking so much forward to it. I look forward to see if I made any of my goals this year too, in about a year. And please tell me what your art resolutions are. I think it would be really interesting to hear what your goals are. Do you have any goals at all? I'm really interested, and I also feel like it would be good with some inspiration also, because I've put up 6 goals, but I bet there is a lot more that I could improve. But yeah, let's stop rambling now. I hope that everyone had a good New Year celebration, and I hope that the new year will be good to us all, and yeah. So let's continue on this journey together, and I hope that I'll see you next week. Bye!